And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower, and today we're taking a look at a game called On the Rocks, which is a really pretty looking game. The cover's pretty, the components are pretty, and it's a theme that I know nothing about as I'm a teetotaler, but this is about mixing drinks, delivering drinks to people. But it comes with marbles that you pull from a bag with a little bit of Mancala involved in it, so it's a pretty nifty idea, and it's a really cool production, so let's check it out, starting now. Each player has their own board in front of you, and at the beginning of the game you're going to choose whether you want 3 or 4 drinks in your orders. So you'll just draw one from each type: Hurricane, Martini, Highball, and Old Fashioned. Each one is a specific type, and they show you the ingredients that you need, which could be completely filling the glass or 2 less. So like, for example, a Martini has 6 spots here, so the Martini is going to be between 4 and 6 ingredients. In this case, it's 4. And there's also a value, which is equal to the number of ingredients: 4, 8, 6, etc. So you might do 3 if you want to finish faster. You might pick 4 if you want to do more over the course of a turn. On a player's turn, the first thing that they will usually do is roll dice. You're going to look at the dice that you've rolled. You can manipulate these. You can get rid of an ingredient that you have off your board to flip one to its opposite side, or you can just accept the number, in this case 6. So you would randomly reach into this bag and grab 6 marbles. Once you have these marbles, the first player is going to pick a bowl, and they're going to pick and drop the marbles in as you go around clockwise. Then they're going to take one of these bowls, and essentially you get all the marbles from that bowl. So maybe I'll take all the ones from this one, and I'm going to place them on my board. The next time someone drops marbles in, the next player, they start with the empty cup. And you just go around dropping one in each cup, and so on. As you gain marbles, you're going to place them out on the board, and you're going to try to match. So the yellow one might go there. I might actually put 2 of the white ones here and another yellow, but I don't have anything to put there at this point in time. If I got some greens, I might put them here. You're always allowed to place some extra ingredients if you don't have a spot to put them or don't want to put them out right away. Up in here, you can store 3 ingredients up in that area. Players also have wilds. These crystal clear ones count as a wild, so when you put those out, that's really good, but it's also a little dangerous. That's because there are 2 special kinds of marbles. You have these premium marbles, the golden ones. When you get one of these, you put it in this spot here. When this is full, you'll throw them all back in the bag, and you can take any 2 marbles of your choice out of the bag, of the regular marbles. The black marbles here are spill marbles. When you get one of these, you put it here. When all 4 are filled up, you throw that back in the bag. And when that happens, you have to draw a spill card. This spill card happens before you fill any orders. This says remove any 2 ingredients from the hurricane glass. I only have 2 in there, so I'd have to remove those. Sometimes it tells you to get rid of a color. Like, for example, if I did this one, remove all yellow ingredients from any one drink. I would have to get rid of these, and I would get rid of the wild. So wilds are helpful, but they're also more affected by spills. Now, if you're not affected by the wild, and if you've completely finished a drink, then you can discard the marbles and you'll flip that drink over to show that it's done. When all 4 of your drinks are flipped over, you'll bring this lemon wedge down to show that you finished your first order, and then you'll draw 3 or 4 more cards before starting the second order. When you do your last one, you signal the end of the game. Also, when you complete an order, you get a tip card. Each tip card is worth a possibility of extra points at the end of the game, the money amounts that are on here. But there are also cards that you can keep for yourself or play a card on someone else. Like this clumsy bartender I put in front of someone else. They have to play that at the beginning of their turn before they do anything else and draw from the spill deck. Or here, I can take one ingredient from someone else and put it on my player board. Or here, I can select a bowl and shake it up and redraft the ingredients that I pulled out. But if I use these, I'm giving up the value on them at the end of the game. The person who calls last call is going to get a bonus chip depending on how many players are in the game. And then players are simply just going to add up the money values on all the cards they get. Everyone has one last turn to try to finish as many drinks as they can. And you will lose some points for drinks that you didn't get finish. 2 points for each one that you've not done. You'll add your tips, your recipes, bonus chip. Whoever has the most is the winner of the game. Components for the game are very nice. I mean, you have these lemon wedges. Your board is a menu. I mean, this is a nice, thick, with spot UV printing on it. The marbles sit inside here. They're great. The marbles are very light plastic marbles, so they're not going to break, and they feel good pulling them from the bag. The cups are neat. They're little rubbery cups. The only problem with the cup is, depending on where you're sitting on the table, you may have to pull the cups and look at them to see what the marbles are inside. I might exchange these for some clear containers just so it's easier to see which ones are in which. Card quality is fantastic. Each of the drinks has a different look to it. The artwork's really well done. They're linen finish cards. It's really cool. And in fact, I got an extra deck, since I backed this on the Kickstarter, of cards that take wilds. They give you fewer points, but anything can go in those. And this is such a simple, easy thing to add into the game. I was very impressed with that. The poker chips are just light little plastic chips, but they look good. A nice bag. Everything easily fits in the box. It is a top quality production. On the Rocks is a strong, welcoming game. A game that people who have not played many games before, but maybe are familiar with the concept of mixing drinks, will like. I mean, I don't think you have to like drinks to enjoy this game, obviously, for me, myself, but I think it probably helps. The fact that you're doing simplistic things is probably going to encourage people to that end. There's one little thing that I thought was problematic with the game, is that I read the rules are very detailed and well written, but they weren't very clear when you pull the marbles from a bag and you place them in the cups if you chose which one went into a cup or if it was random. I think, after reading rules in other places, that you choose which one they go to. However, I think it's better if it's random, because it really speeds the game up. Just pull them out, drop, 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 and then your strategic decision is which of these will you take. I also wish that there were just a couple more black balls in the bag. In fact, there is a couple more, and I throw them in the bag. They're not supposed to put them in the game. They're like extras. But I throw them in the bag because I think the spills should be like, oh, this bowl's full of all kinds of ingredients, but it got a couple spill ones, so should I take it or not? I like that concept of the game. And it also means they get into the mix and taken out faster. Those are little house rules that I have decided that I would put in my game, but that's minor stuff. The concept here is simple. I do wish they made again, I'm talking about minor things, but I do wish they had said at the beginning of the game, draw 4 cards. Instead of saying pick 4 or 3, because new people are going to go, I don't know if I should pick 3 or 4. Obviously, you can do 3, 3, 3 and just barrel through the game as fast as you can, but someone who did 4, 4, and 3 might get more drinks than you and more points. Now, I said that this is a welcoming game. It certainly is. For many gamers, this is a game you might want to pass by. There's a bit of take that with the tip cards. Although, it's very rarely useful to spend money, points at the end of the game to hurt somebody else, because likely helping yourself out with those points is better than the special ability that you can do, whether it's going after someone else or helping yourself. I tried it both ways. I tried using a lot of tip cards, and I tried using it without, and I think the edge is to not using them. Using them might be more fun for some people, and so you can kind of play with that kind of atmosphere in the mix. At its core, though, grabbing the marbles, dropping them in. At first I thought, wow, if you roll low, you're not going to get as good of a thing. But honestly, you're dropping marbles into trays, so you just pick one of them anyway. The marbles get kind of spread out. So rolling low numbers didn't seem to be that big of a deal. But as you drop the marbles in, you pick one, you put it on your board, you fulfill an order. Very satisfying game. In fact, it reminds me a lot of another game that came out recently called Arc Ravels, which is a game about knitting, which has some similarities to this one. And both of them are the kind of games where I'm like, these are very welcoming games. You like knitting? Play this one. You like drinking? Play this one. So a high production value. Yes, there's some minor things I wouldn't mind seeing changed. And it definitely is the kind of game I don't think is strategic as much as just drop the right marbles in, grab the marbles, put them there. But you know what? A lot of people like those kind of games, and this is better than the mass market trash that's all out there. This is the kind of game that I saw on someone's shelf. I'd be like, oh, good, you like that? That's cool, isn't it? And for that matter, I got to say, it's worth getting for people who like that theme and or might just be getting into gaming or want something really casual. On the Rocks is for them. I'm Tom Vasel. We'll see you next time. Dice Tower Judgment approved.